Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the story time of day 3 on this week's adventure of Thunder Tales, December 2021. How are you this morning? Are you keeping well, people? The elixir of delight first thing in the morning. Oh, so good. Oh, so needed. Oh man. I cannot start my day without that wee delight. Absolutely not. Ding! And just like that. Good morning! How are you this morning? You keeping okay? Oh. It's so peaceful. It's so quiet. Oh man. I have been sleeping like an absolute log this week so far, and it has been absolutely amazing, you know. Right, get myself sort of, shit. Right, hi, how you doing? You okay? Good morning. Right, yes, welcome to Beccles, morning, Monday, day 3 of this little tale of adventure out on Thunder, and yes, what a fantastic evening I had last night. I met up with Chris. We tried to go to the Beccles. It was just such a shame that it was actually shut, or at least shutting, I should say, at 4 o'clock, which was a bit of a, you know, I was really a wee bit disappointed about that. But it is what it is, you know. I'm really looking forward to it. We did manage to get in for a quick wee pint though, and yeah, it looks really good, and I actually look forward to coming back down here again sometime and visiting that place. But yeah, we ended up going up to the Wetherspoons, and I know I told you all this last night, but yeah, I mean, it was good, you know. Nothing fancy or whatever, you know. It was a Wetherspoons, but it was still good, still enjoyed it, and we had a great evening with some fantastic company. So yeah, I didn't really do much. I came back to the boat, had a cuppa, well, I had a pre-bed aperitif, another beer, and yeah, had a cuppa, went to bed, crashed out, and that was pretty much me until this morning. The time is knocking on, would you believe it, 8 o'clock, getting light already, and I'm needing to get my rear end in gear and get myself sorted and figure out where I'm going to go. I've decided there's going to be 2 places that I'm going to go to today. Well, one of 2 places, I don't know which one yet. One is either take a cruise up the Yare to Surlingham Ferry, where I can definitely have a good dinner. I've checked. It's definitely open today. Have a good dinner at Surlingham Ferry, and then I'll either stay there or do a slight night navigation round the corner, because it'll probably be dark by then, into Surlingham Broad, or Bargate Broad, whatever you want to call it, and do a mudweight evening on Surlingham Broad overnight in the middle of the Broad. It's going to be dull and a bit grey, you know, not too cold, but calm, you know. There's no wind at all today, which is really nice, so perfect weather, barring lack of starry sky, for a mudweight. So yeah, that's one option. The other option is to go down one of my favourite rivers, which I've not been for a long time, which would be the River Chet. Go down the River Chet to Loddon Staithe. I think I will be able to get electricity down there. I'm sure there's an electricity post down there. and visit a place I haven't been to before called, I think it's called the Swan. Now usually from Loddon Staithe, every time I've gone to Loddon previously, I've come out the Staithe to the main road and I've turned left and I've gone up into Loddon, and that's where, you know, you get, I think there's a King's Head and there's another one further up. I can't quite remember what it's called. That's actually quite a good pub, the one further up on the right hand side. Or there's various takeaways and what have you, you know. Maybe some shops if I need some shopping or what have you. However, I have been hearing that if you leave the Staithe, go to the main road and turn right instead, just along the road there's a pub called the Swan. I'm sure it was called the Swan, and that's supposed to be really quite good actually, you know. Good food, good atmosphere, reasonably priced. So yeah, I've never been there, so and I am trying to do slightly different things and visit different places where I can, you know. So yeah, I might actually do that. And it's the River Chet, you know, and I do like that river, you know. Okay, it might not be the prettiest at this time of year, you know, or in this weather, but I do still like it. It's really narrow and twisty, and I've never taken a boat this size down that particular river, so this might be a good time of the year to do that, you know. Just take it on down, have a wee look, you know, enjoy a nice evening down at Loddon, and yeah, take it from there. So that's one of my two choices that I might do today. I'm not entirely sure which one I will do. I'll have to wait and see. Obviously it'll take quite a wee while to get up to Surlingham, but I think it's only about 4.5 hours to go down to Loddon, so that's not too bad, you know. I can have a bit more of a relaxing day. I still don't know if I'm going to stay down here for 2 nights or 3 nights though. If I stay down here for 2 nights, I would actually be perfectly positioned to leave Loddon, go back up the Chet, up the Yare to Braden Water and catch low tide. Low tide is about 12:30. It's about 3 hours give or take, so there wouldn't actually be any much of a mad rush in the morning, tomorrow morning. It would be perfectly timed. I could get across Braden and a quick wee cruise up back into the Northern Broads, and wherever I end up I will still have time before, you know, that it starts getting dark or what have you. So that would actually be quite good, you know. If I stay here for 3 nights, which I am tempted of, low tide is a bit later. I think it's like 1:30, nearer 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Once again, that means that I could go further away, start the day early, have a nice long cruise down to Braden, cross, but by the time I get back into the Northern Broads area, it would definitely be it would be a chase the sunset sort of thing again. So I'm not really sure. But we'll wait and see. You know, half the time I have no idea what I'm doing. You know, I just get up and I just sort of wing it. You know, I have checked. Surlingham Ferry is definitely open today. I have checked the Swan at Loddon is definitely open today. You know, so those 2 choices are spot on. I did really want to go up to the Water's Edge pub at Bramerton, but I have been told that it is closed Monday and Tuesday, which is really annoying, because I've been trying to get into that place for a long time to experience it, because it's supposed to be really, really good, proper fancy food, you know. And I like my junk food, there's no doubt about it. I like my junk food, but I also appreciate some proper good food, you know. Half the time I don't know what I'm eating, but I usually end up enjoying it regardless. So yeah, I have been told, but I haven't actually checked. In fact, I'll do that when I go back on board with my wee cuppa before I get myself organised and get the day started, because just to find out, you know, just to find out. But yeah, so yeah, that's it. How were the moorings? The moorings were actually very quiet last night, you know, no problems, no hassles. I mean, we've got a main road just over there, you know, you can't see it because it's just behind the trees. You probably saw the bridge that I went under to get to this morning. That's actually a main road, but down here, I didn't hear it at all, you know, and it was very quiet, it was very peaceful, it was very calm. You could probably hear the diesel heater exhaust going in the background. I did put that on. I ran out of electricity last night, so the the electric heaters are off. So yeah, just I fired up the diesel heater and warming up the boat nicely. So yeah, it's looking to be a lovely, calm, peaceful start to the day so far, you know. Very quiet moorings here, you know, and yeah, I don't know why I don't come down here more often. I really should come down here more often. And after having a wee scoot around in Beccles yesterday with Chris, yeah, I should really go for a good wee wander in there, you know, come down here, make sure I get down here nice and early, have a wee proper scoot around Beccles, take you with me, and yeah, the other place that I have been recommended, but I'm a wee bit apprehensive about, is, and I probably won't do it during the winter, you know, because water levels tend to fluctuate quite a wee bit. But just over there, I don't know if you can see it, just there, is it just there? There is a wrought iron bridge, and yeah, you can slip under there. I don't think hire craft can go under there. I think that's the end of navigation for hire craft, but I, being a private, can actually slip under there. It's a wee bit sort of tight, you know, I think sort of rocks and bridge type of thing, but if you slip under there, it's supposed to be really quite nice up that section of the river, and there's a nice wee sort of community owned pub up there. Interesting wee story about it. It was going to go out of business, but the local community really liked the pub, and it was a bit of a hub for the local community. So the community sort of got together and bought the pub, you know. So yeah, I think it's called the Gildeston Inn. I'm not entirely sure. I'll need to double check that. But yeah, it's just under that bridge there. So yeah, I'll maybe have to attempt that on another wee trip sometime, you know, because I'll not go under there just now though, you know. But yes, everything is going good. I'm just getting myself organised. I've just made a wee cup of tea, warming up the boat. I'll get myself dressed and organised, and yeah, set off and see, decide then exactly where I'm going to go and what I'm going to do, and yeah, take it from there. So yeah, welcome to day 3, you know. The journey is definitely not going to be as long or as mammoth as it was yesterday. That was a long day, by the way, you know, but it was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it, you know. The weather changed quite a wee bit, and it was interesting to see how it changed, you know, and yeah, it was just a shame that the clouds rolled over just at the end there, you know, but it's definitely not cold, you know, which for December I am quite grateful for, you know. It's quite mild for December, you know, and yeah, it is actually lovely, you know, and if the clouds would just go away, I'm quite sure it would actually be quite beautiful on a cruise. But you know, it is what it is, you know, so it doesn't matter, you know, it really doesn't matter. I just love being out here, you know, and it's been such a long time since I have done such a long cruise as that. I mean, what was it, I left at about half 8 yesterday morning, I think I left Beccles, and I got down here pretty much 2:30, you know, so I was quite happy about that. I think it was just after 2:30 I got down here, so that's pretty much 7 hours, you know. Long time since I've done such a long cruise as that. And it was ironic because I met up with Chris, and we went to the Bear and Bells. We had a quick pint, and it was just like I sat down. Now I've been sitting down or standing up on the boat for 7 hours, you know. So it's not like I was doing anything majorly exerting or anything like that. But I got into the pub, I sat down with that pint, I took, you know, a good swig of that first chilled South Wall bitter, and it was just like, oh man, I needed that after a long nap. It was like I'd been doing some sort of major excursion, you know, exertion I should say, you know, but I hadn't, you know, but it just felt good, you know, at the end of the day after a long cruise, you know, a nice cool pint, you know, brilliant, but yeah, so anyway, I'm not going to babble too much. I'm going to get myself organised, get the coffee, get myself sorted, engine checks done, get the engine fired up, give that a wee warm up. The boat is needing a right proper good clean. Obviously one of the drawbacks about this time of year is that the boat gets rather dirty and muddy, so it's going to need a good scrub. I'll maybe do that later today, or maybe tomorrow or whatever. I'll wait and see. But yes, it's all going good, you know. I might even avail myself of the fact that there's a water point here and top up my water tanks. Don't really need water, but may as well take the opportunity while it's there, top up the tanks, and yeah, that way I know I've got a full tank. So yeah, I'm gonna go get myself organised, get the day started. Still no idea where I'm gonna go, but I'm quite sure I'll figure it out later. And yeah, as always, I'll keep you updated on the events of the day. So join me for day 3, and let's see where we take our little story tale today. So until later, I'll speak to you soon. So until then, bye for now. Cheers! Okay, just a little wee update for you. I am on my way. I have started day 3 and the time is currently, it's just about 10 to 9. So nice, good time to start the day, definitely. And as is typical, completely typical, it started raining just as I was leaving there. So yeah, my non-waterproof rear view camera has got itself a little wet, but so I've had to bring that in, unfortunately. But hopefully it'll just be a wee passing. It's that fine drizzly stuff that really soaks you, you know, without you feeling like you're actually getting wet. So yeah, it's just a bit of a shame that came down. Just as I was getting all sorted, I was like, oh, what's that? You know, next minute, oh my god. So yeah, anyway, not to worry, I am on my way. I have started today's story. Yeah, I still haven't fully decided exactly where I'm going at the moment. I've just literally got myself organised, checked the engine, unplugged the electricity, you know, topped up my water, which didn't take very long at all, because let's face it, you know, I've really only had so far one shower. So yeah, it didn't really need topping up, but it was there, so may as well avail myself of it, top it up. As I said, I've only had one shower today, that was yesterday. I've literally just thrown some clothes on, fired up the engine, let the ropes go and gone. So I'm going to need to freshen myself up later, wherever I end up later today. So yeah, I'm taking it nice and easy. Yeah, all is going good. It's just a bit of a shame that the rain started coming down just as I was leaving there. But we are on our way, and I've, like I say, still quite no idea exactly where I'm going, but I'm sure I will figure that out later on. Yeah, and that's pretty much the update, you know. I managed to make myself another cup of coffee, which is oh, so needed this morning. And I must say, you know, I know people go on about Witherspoons and all that, you know, oh, it's just like a commercial thing, and you know, you get what you pay for, and it's true, you know. But I mean, a beer and a burger for 10 quid, you know, you can't really go wrong with that, you know. And there was nothing wrong with it. I actually enjoyed that burger. That was I think it was the ultimate burger that I had. That was a good wee burger, you know. So yeah, I mean, like I say, a beer and a pint for 10 quid. Cannot go wrong with that. So yeah, it was cheap and cheerful, and what was most important was the beer was chilled, the company was good, the food reasonable, you know, and yeah, you know, it was a good evening. It was a really good evening, you know. So yeah, so yeah, that was Beccles, and unfortunately I didn't get to show you much of Beccles. The intention was to take you into you guys with me, show you a wee bit about Beccles, and then take you into the Bear and Bells, and maybe show you a wee bit about the pub, you know. But it's just the way that this trip is going. I'm just not quite getting the opportunity to do any filming of my destinations, you know. And I suppose I could. I mean, there was nothing stopping, but you know, sometimes, especially if you meet somebody for the first time, you know, you're there, you're catching up, you know, and it feels a wee bit odd just to sort of say, right, hold on, I need to disappear for an hour, you know, just to film wee bits, or get the camera out when your dinner comes and start, you know. It just feels a wee bit odd, you know. And Saturday, when I met up with Mick and Jackie, well, I was knackered. You know, by the time I drove all the way down south, took over the boat, got myself organised, got down to Beccles, you know, moored up, sat down, had that first sip of pint, you know, I was like, oh man, you know, I was just like, oh, you know, just so yeah. But hopefully, maybe today, whenever I end up today, we will have I'll be able to take you along. I don't know. Well, you know what these things are like. You know, sometimes I get an opportunity, and sometimes I don't. You know, sometimes I get thrown out of places for filming, and some places actually let me film to my heart's content. You know, it's just have to play it by ear. You know. So yeah, that is the day started. So and like I say, no idea where I'm going to go. I actually did enjoy Beccles. I will definitely have to come down this end more often. And I was actually speaking to Chris yesterday because I have been to Alton Broad once. Well, I've nipped into Alton Broad, took a look, turned around and came out. That was on 14. I then went back, I think maybe 15, 16, and actually stayed overnight in Alton Broad and I had a look about the place. Now, I didn't go all the way into Lowestoft, it was just near the sort of riverfront sort of area. And I wasn't really too impressed with it at the time, you know. However, Chris was telling me that it seems to have gone over a wee bit of a resurgence, if you like, you know. And it's a bit better, you know, and there's more options and more choices and what have you in the area, and it's not just the hotel, you know. So I think it might be time to investigate Alton Broad again, you know. I'm not going to do it on this trip. But maybe on another trip, maybe next year. Actually take the time and the opportunity to actually come down here and yeah, just investigate it and just have a wee look about again the place. So maybe it's in the last few years since I was last there, you know, it's better than what it was when I first visited there, you know. So yeah, I'm keeping Alton Broad just sort of sitting there on the sidelines, you know, just as a okay. And if I come down to Beccles, you know, Beccles to Alton Broad, you know, that would be ideal, you know, because they're both down in the bottom end of the Waveney. So anyway, I am babbling. I said I wasn't going to babble, but I am babbling. And yeah, let's see where the adventure takes us. Hopefully this sort of drizzly, horrible rain sort of stuff, which you can't actually see on camera at the moment, you know. I'm just looking at the footage here, and no, it's looking grey, but you can't actually tell that it's raining, which is good, because at least that way you're getting some footage. But yeah, hopefully this drizzly stuff that is currently coming down doesn't last very long, just a passing wee shower, and yeah, it will disappear and be dry for the rest of the day, you know. But yeah, that's the update so far, you know. I am on my way, you know. And as always, I will keep you updated on the events of the day, as I decide where I am going to go and what I am going to do, and just sort of see how things sort of progress. So far, I'm completely open today. I have no plans to meet anybody, I have no arrangements. I am just literally, it's all about me enjoying this day by myself, you know. So yeah, it will be pretty good, you know. And I'll need to investigate a wee bit about exactly what's going to go, if it's going to be worthwhile going up to Surlingham. I do like the idea of a mudway on Bargate Broad, Surlingham Broad, whatever you want to call it. I think that the official name is Bargate Broad, but I always call it Surlingham Broad because although it's not officially Surlingham Broad and you can't actually go into Surlingham Broad, I call it Surlingham Broad because it's that area, you know, and well, it's Surlingham and it's abroad, so yes, I know I should call it Bargate Broad, but I don't. I will maybe try and get into the habit of that. For those people that are sitting there just now going, oh, it's Bargate, stop calling it Surlingham. Okay, I will try and call it Bargate, you know? Unless of course it's not Bargate and I'm getting even that wrong. Which wouldn't be surprising, it's me after all, you know. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go. I will keep you updated on the events of the day. Let's see where we go, let's see what we do. Hopefully this drizzle will ease off later and we will have a good time. So until later, I'll keep you updated. So until then, bye for now. Cheers!
Since you came along, you sexy thing. Where did you come from, baby? How did you know I needed you? How did you know I needed you so badly? How did you know I'd give my heart gladly? Yesterday I was one of the lonely people. Now you're lying close to me, making love to me. I believe in miracles. Where you from? You sexy thing, you. I believe in miracles. Since you came along, you sexy thing. Where did you come from, angel? How did you know I'd be the one? Did you know you're everything I prayed for? Did you know every night and day for? Every day, needing love and satisfaction. Now you're lying next to me, giving it to me. I believe in miracles. Where you from? You sexy thing, you. I believe in miracles. Since you came along, you sexy thing. Oh, kiss me, you sexy thing. Touch me, baby, you sexy thing. I love the way you touch me, darling. You sexy thing. Oh, it's sexy to see you sexy thing. Yesterday I was one of the lonely people. Now you're lying close to me, giving it to me. I believe in miracles. Where you from? You sexy thing, you. I believe in miracles. Since you came along, you sexy thing. Oh, touch me, kiss me, darling. I love the way you hold me, baby. It's ecstasy. It's ecstasy. Kiss me, baby. I love the way you kiss me, darling.
just a little wee update for you. I am continuing up the River Waveney. I should very soon, I think, be approaching the Waveney River Centre, and then I'll get to that sort of junction where I can either turn right to go down to Alton Broad or turn left and continue towards Somerleyton, St Olave's and what have you. Yeah, the rain has stopped. That drizzly, nasty, horrible, soaking wet, but you don't feel like you're getting too wet sort of stuff has stopped. The sun is trying to peek itself out from the clouds, yeah, it's actually quite mild today, you know, it's lovely and calm, and you know, there's no wind. Well, there's a slight breeze, but it's insignificant, and yeah, there's nobody on the rivers, considering how hectic and chaotic the rivers down in the south were yesterday. Like, I think I passed 6 boats. You know, it's yeah, you know, there's nobody around this morning, you know, Monday morning, and it's just so peaceful. I'm obviously having a slightly easier cruise this time, a lot lower revs, because I seem to be going with the tide. The tide is currently dropping, so this is making for a lot more of a relaxing journey. I'm not having to apply that many revs, so I'm just getting pushed along or helped along by the current. So yeah, it's lovely, you know, it really is, and it's one of the things that I love about coming down here, you know. I mean, I call this place my den of zen, you know. It's so magical, and the tranquility and the peaceful. I mean, even at this time of year, you know, it's okay, it's not warm or hot, or you know, there's not a lot of pretty flowerage or blooming, or you know, greenery or what have you, but it doesn't matter, you know. I mean, it's like I mean, my particular job is I believe I told you, you know, I am a professional driver, believe it or not. You know, this idiot is a professional, you know, he knows what he's doing on the roads. You know, I might not know what I'm doing on the rivers, but I know what I'm doing on the roads. But the job isn't sort of what you would call physically demanding, you know, and there are more stressful, you know, intense, exhausting jobs out there, certainly, you know, but it can be mentally stressful and taxing and all that, you know. And a lot of people think it's, oh well, you're sitting behind the wheel and you know, you're not doing anything. I mean, it's a cushy job, and well, in some respects it is, you know. In some respects it is a cushy job, but trust me, you try spending 10 hours, okay, driving around a city, you know, with idiots and roadworks and people, and yeah, you know, it can be mentally exhausting sometimes, you know. So coming down here, you know, it's just a way to completely unwind, or sort of reset your batteries, you know. And it's just, you know, it's just like you just can't, there's no worries, there's no hassle, nobody's belting all over the place, there's no rushing, you know. Everything's at basically, I believe it's called Broad's time or river time or whatever, you know, phrase you want to use. But it's that sort of like everything just slows down, you know. It's not about getting somewhere fast, you know. I mean, I know I sometimes tease, you know, oh, I gotta get there, I'm chasing the sunset, you know, but really it's not, you know. It's all about just literally undoing your ropes, setting off in a direction, you know, setting the revs, you know, to a certain speed, you know. Usually on average it's about 5 miles an hour, you know, sometimes 4, sometimes 3, sometimes 6, and you just literally cruise along the rivers, you know. I mean, I've always said that the whole point of cruising on the rivers is to spend hours watching the world go by at 4 miles an hour being bored. You know, that's what it's all about. You know, you're literally just sitting there watching the world go by, being bored. Now, when I say bored, I don't mean like, oh God, you know, oh fuck, I'm bored, I want to do something. You know, it's not that. It's more like, you know, you're not sort of getting yourself worked up by doing things, you know, or getting stressed about, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. You know, it's not. It's just, you know, you just take it easy. It's literally, it literally is the truth about the fact that it's not about the destination. It's all about the journey. You know, I mean, I've got a hawk, right? I have a hawk, okay, and he's buzzing about this boat, and he's obviously on the hunt, you know, but he's actually following me down the river, and I'm sitting here watching this guy. I mean, he's so graceful, you know, just the way he's just sort of glides around and has a wee look, and he dips and he comes back, he goes to a tree, sits for a wee bit, and then he sets off. Oh, he's following me down the river, you know. A hawk, you know, it's unbelievable, you know. And although it's quite cloudy at the moment, I don't know if it'll come out on video, but just in the distance there, you know, it's like grey, and then just at the horizon there's just that sort of gap, you know, where it's a lovely gold yellow, you know, where daylight, and over there there's some white from the various clouds, and you know, occasionally the sun sort of peeks out, you know, and just sort of says hello, you know, and it just sort of disappears again, and it's just like, you know, it's so calming, you know. And this is what I mean, is that it's not so much about being bored, twiddling your thumbs like, oh my God. It's about being bored, not doing anything, just basking in the majesty of the world, if you like, you know, all that's all around you, you know, just watching nature, you know, and the wildlife do its thing around you, you know. And I think you see this a lot more off season than you do on season, because it's not so much that you can't see it, you know, on season, but there's a lot of boats around, and there's a lot of traffic, and there's a lot of people, you know, and you tend to find that the swans, the ducks and the geese come to you looking for food, okay, which is fair enough, you know. They'll be used to that, you know, and you know, a lot of people feed them, and it's a good thing, you know. But there's other animals that just sort of shy away, if you like, and just, you don't really see or hear much of them, because there's so much, you know, because the rivers are so busy, and there's a lot of movement, and people are always, you know, there's always engine and sailboats and what have you. But off season, you know, there's very few boats on the river, so the wildlife doesn't often see a boat, so it's just doing its thing, you know. And although it still does its thing during the season, it seems to be a bit more prevalent during the off season, in like December, you know. Now maybe that's just a perception, that's a shift in perception that I'm currently going through, and maybe it's not actually that. Maybe it's just this part of the river, you know. Maybe I am spending more time concentrating on other river users, and if I've got guests on board, you know, spending time chatting to them, that I'm not really noticing the wildlife, but I am just now, because it's a lot quieter and I'm just by myself. Maybe it's a sort of a shift in perception, I don't know. Maybe it is a fact that they're just getting on with doing their thing, if you like, because they're not being disturbed by a lot of other people on the rivers. I don't know. But what I do know is that I am definitely seeing and hearing a lot more of the wildlife, you know, as I'm cruising up the River Waveney just now, you know, and it's wonderful. It really is wonderful. I mean, I crossed Braden yesterday. I don't think I actually mentioned this. I crossed Braden yesterday, and I came to the end of Braden, and I was coming down. Oh, there's something we don't have very often. Rowers. Woohoo! Usually you see them up at Norwich. Didn't expect to see a couple of rowers down here. Oh well, good on you guys, you know. If you rowed down from Norwich, well. Yeah, but oh, and we've got big sticks. That's not a stick, that's a fucking tree. Let's just go around that. Yeah, we don't want to be going anywhere near that. That's not a tree actually, it's just a very, very large branch. No. But yes, what I was saying is, I don't know. Oh yeah, I crossed Braden, okay, and I came to the end of Braden, and I'm heading down towards St Olave's, and the water level was so low, okay, and honestly, you know, it was like an absolute huge flock of geese just standing on the muddy bank, you know, just as I was approaching not St Olave's, Borough Castle, you know, at the end of Braden Water, the top end of the River Waveney. Big mud bank, and big, huge, unbelievable flock of geese just sitting on the muddy bank, you know, just standing there. And then it was just like they all took off. You know, I didn't catch it on camera, unfortunately, you know, but they all took off in like unison, and it was just like, for a moment, the sky was filled with these flying birds, you know, all around me, and it was like a scene from Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, you know, but in a nice way. They weren't attacking me or anything like that. They were just flying around, you know. I don't know if somebody got spooked and that sent the whole lot up, or if they were just going to go elsewhere, you know, I'm not sure. But it was amazing, you know, and I was so close to them, because I was literally like, what, 10 feet away from them, you know. The hawk's back. Oh man, I don't know if he's going to come up on camera, but I'll have to see if he that's amazing, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But yeah, I was so close to all these geese, you know, and just hearing them all take off in unison. I'll tell you this, a large flock of geese makes a hell of a noise when it takes off, by the way, you know, you know, it's huge flock, you know, and it was, oh, you know, just amazing, you know, just amazing. It really makes you get in touch with sort of the wonder and the beauty of nature and the world, and you know, it's amazing how diverse, you know, this planet is, you know. And I'm not going to go into a whole sort of ecological, sort of environmental, sort of David Attenborough sort of thing, you know, because I don't know much about, you know, the intricacies of wildlife. But I do appreciate wildlife. I do appreciate nature. I do marvel at its various checks and balances, and good and evil, and you know, well, when I say good and evil, it's like one animal will eat one thing, but there'll always be another animal out to eat that, you know, and you know, it's all the, you know, the checks and balances, and you know, there's always a bigger fish, so to speak, you know, and very few animals are actually safe, if you like, you know what I mean. You know, they've always got to be, I mean, they're both predator and prey in equal measure, you know, and it doesn't matter if it's a carnivore or a herbivore, you know. I mean, even the herbivores, you could argue, are actually prey, because they're eating berries and grass and trees, bark, or whatever, depending on the animal, you know. But that, they then have a positive impact on the environment around them, because they are sometimes dealing with or keeping nature in check by doing what they're doing, you know. But there's also animals that prey on them, and there's not really ever a top predator that's king of all it surveys, you know. I mean, even if you go to the top predators, if you like, of like lions, crocodiles, sharks, or even the herbivores like elephants, rhinos, you know, all these large, dangerous animals, you know. They could be considered the top of the food chain, if you like. But then you introduce man into the equation, and you could say, well, they're not the top because man is the top, you know, and we have the ability to kill them. Now, right or wrong, I'm not getting into that. I'm not saying we should go out hunting, you know, but what I'm saying is that in the past, you know, while we were evolving, you know, this is in the caveman prehistoric days, if you like, you know, well, not prehistoric, but, you know, in the caveman days, you know, when we were evolving, you know, we would hunt these animals for food and what have you. Now, obviously, modern man doesn't need to do that, you know. We do that, but we don't need to do that, and we shouldn't really be doing that, you know. But that's, I'm not getting into that. Absolutely not. But you see what I'm saying is that you would think that the lions, the crocodiles, the elephants, the rhinos, whatever, you know, they are the top of the food chain, and then man comes along and say, well, actually, no, you're not the top of the food chain, we are. But are we? Because we think we're the top of the food chain, and we have done damage, but that doesn't necessarily make us safe, because they can still do damage to us, and they do, you know, whether it's for provoked or food or mistaken identity, I don't know. There are attacks and death by other animals, so there's no real sort of top person on the food chain, because even if you're at the top, you can still get somebody from the lower to put you, you know, it's all checks and balances. And I'm rambling so much rubbish, by the way. This makes no sense. I am talking crap. How did I get onto this subject? I was talking about the beauty of the Broads and a hog flying with me, and all of a sudden I'm talking about who's the top of the food chain. What the hell? Sometimes I worry about the logic of my mind, people, by the way, you know. It's a wee bit skewed in here, you know, I think. Anyway, I've rambled too much, you know, but I think you get my point, is that down here there's just something so calming, so relaxing, and it's just so peaceful, you know, that no matter what worries or cares or stress that you have in your life, you know, come down here, spend a week, just get away from it, you know, reset the batteries, recharge yourself, and it's just so peaceful and so calm, and you just, it's all so slow, and it's all the better for it, you know, just for taking it so nice and easy, you know. So that's just why I love coming down here. So, like I said, babbled way too much. I was talking so much rubbish, so I'm gonna go, leave you in peace, and I'll update you later on. So you take it easy, and I'll speak to you soon, okay? Bye for now. Cheers! Okay, just a little wee update there. Like I said, I was approaching the Waveney River Centre, and yes, I was approaching it. I was getting ready to go past it, but I decided, since they had some moorings free on the riverfront, I would take the opportunity to have a quick pit stop and a wee toilet break. So yes, I just dove in, just used the centre rope, just wrapped it around a quick post. The tide was behind me, and it just kept the boat nice and tight up against the quay heading, and quickly dove to the toilet, straight back out. Didn't even switch the engine off or anything like that. Quick back out, undid the rope, and straight away again. So a quick 2-minute hold at the Waveney River Centre, and back on the way. I have just approached the junction where I turn right to go down Loddon Broad. I have continued left down the river, or up the river Waveney I should say, and heading towards Somerleyton, and I fully expect I'm going to get under the Somerleyton Bridge, no problems, you know. The river levels have not dropped as low as they were yesterday when I was heading down to Beccles, but the tide is going out, so the rivers are dropping. So considering how much clearance I had yesterday going under Somerleyton Bridge, it's not going to be an issue for me, especially now that I've still got my screens still down. It's going to slip under that, no problems. So yeah, it's going all lovely, and it's turning into a lovely cruise. You know, it's just the wind is died down completely. The flag is all limp. So yeah, it's I'm really enjoying this. Actually, I really am. You know, it's I still can't get over just how, you know, quiet it is. You know, I mean, I really do love off-season cruising. Honestly, I do love it. You know, it's just amazing. You know, it's oh, maybe I'm just loving it because I'm lucking out with the weather. You know, in the sense that it's quite mild for December, mid-December at that. And it's dry, basically. It's dry. I mean, okay, we had a wee bit drizzle this morning, but yeah, I mean, as a general rule, it's really dry, and there's nobody around, and it's just me on the river. It's just cruising, bopping along to my music, and enjoying the tranquility, marvelling at the nature, which I'm not going to go into another wee spiel about. Oh man, what the hell happened back there, you know? How the hell did I get onto that conversation, you know? It's like, where the hell did that come from, you know? I sat here thinking, what the hell are you talking about, Russell? You're just rambling, you know? Oh, so yeah, it was just one of those things, wasn't it, you know? So yeah, I am continuing up the River Waveney. It shouldn't be too long before I'm at Somerleyton, and yeah, then we're across the New Cut, which is always a wee bit interesting, where the tide do that Doctor Who-y, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly sort of thing. Both ends of it. Then it'll be into Reedham, and onto the River Yare, you know. And I still haven't entirely decided where I'm going to go, or what I'm going to do, whether it's down to the River Chet, or continue on up to Stirlingham. I think one of the pools of going down the River Chet and down to Loddon, not least the fact that A, I really like the River Chet, and B, I've not been to Loddon for a wee while. It's more about have the opportunity to go somewhere that I've not been before, you know, and I'm trying to do this a bit more often, if you like, you know, just try different places, try new places, you know, go to different places I've not been to for a wee while. I mean, obviously I went to Beccles the first night. Yes, that was the same as what happened in the October. I went to Beccles the first night, but that was because obviously I was meeting up with Mick and Jackie. the plan in October had been to go south and do Beccles in October. That fell through, but obviously I ended up doing it properly this time, so that was why I ended up at Beccles. But I want to try, I mean, and I will no doubt end up at either the Lion or go up to the White Horse, or I will still visit places that I go to on a regular place. There are just some places I have to go and visit on every trip, and the White Horse apparently has live music, a live band on Thursday, and it's just like, that's tempting, just for a wee bit of a bit of a boogie, have a wee jig to myself, if you like, so yeah, I am not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing later on in the week, but I will probably visit, I'm sorry, either the Lion or the White Horse, one of the two, because it's just one of those, it's like Beccles, I've got to go to Beccles at some point, I've got to have that bloody lasagna. Even though I keep telling myself, no, I'm not going to have lasagna. It's like, I go to the Lion, it's actually a no-brainer, I go to the Lion specifically for the Whiskey Cask cider, because I like that bloody cider, and it's about the only time I actually drink cider when I'm down here, usually it's just a beer, but no, that Whiskey Cask cider, it's really nice, lethal, absolutely lethal, you'll drink it, you'll enjoy it, really, really good, and you'll have probably a few too many pints, but you'll be fine, and then you'll walk out and wonder why your legs don't work anymore. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know, it's like I say, it's like I go to the Lion, I drink the Whiskey Cask cider, that's just a given. I go to Beccles and it's like, it's almost a given that I've got to have a lasagna, I don't know. But I am enjoying this cruise, and it is wonderful, and yeah, it's just, I can't believe how quiet the rivers are, it's just, I feel quite alone and isolated, but in a good way, you know what I mean, it's just like, I have this whole network to myself, and it's just, I can go where I want and do what I want, and yeah, it's just, man, it's just really, really good. I love it. I love this off-season cruise. Fantastic, Anyway, that's the update so far. I've had a quick wee toilet break at Waveney. I have got to that wee point in the T, and I've continued up the River Waveney. I will soon be getting some Loddon, and at which point it will be New Cut, and then I'll need to decide exactly, figure out exactly where it is that I am going to go. I honestly believe that a mudweight on Bargate Broad would be really good tonight. It's cloud issues aside, it is perfect for mudweighting. Very little wind, very calm. It would be absolutely fantastic to spend an evening on my favourite broad, on a mudweight, but we'll wait and see, so yeah, that's the update anyway. I've still not decided exactly when I'm going to go, so I'm just sort of going with the flow, seeing where we go. I'm on a road to nowhere. but yeah, we'll just wait and see, so I'll keep you updated though on the events of the day. So until later, I'll speak to you soon. So until then, bye for now. Cheers!
Well, we know where we're going, but we don't know where we've been. And we know what we're knowing, but we can't say what we've seen. And we're not little children, and we know what we want, and the future is certain. Give us time to work it out.
just a little wee update for you. I have slipped under Somerleyton Bridge, no problems, got under there, loads of air room, air draft, headroom. I got under there, no problems. I think I'm not being able to talk anymore. That usually requires a beer very soon, I think, you know. But yeah, I slipped under Somerleyton Bridge, there was no problems, got under there without any issues whatsoever. Continued up the River Waveney, and then at the junction where the River see, I told you I can't talk anymore. Beer! Give me some beer! I continued up the River Waveney, and then when it would turn right to go to St Olave's and continuing up the River Waveney to Braden Water. Oh my goodness. I continue straight on and I'm down the New Cut. I don't know if I told you the history of how this New Cut ended up being here. Basically, when the Broads was in the old days, when the Broads was used for commercial purposes, you know, especially when the old ferries and all that were going, it was decided at some point that because in the old days the commercial vehicles used to come up the Waveney and have to go up St Olave's and Borough Castle up towards Braden Water and then turn to come down the River Yare all the way down to Reedham. And that's quite a, you know, probably what, an hour, 2 hours or something like that it would take them. It was quite a long horseshoe journey for them, you know. But to make it easier and quicker for the commercial vehicles, it was decided they were going to build the New Cut, which is basically a bit of a narrow, straight piece of river that would go from St Olave's straight all the way to Reedham, you know, and it would cut out the commercial vehicles doing that big long up and back down again. Unfortunately, by the time it was completed, they'd put in the railway line just on the other side of the Leeds here, and a lot of the goods that were being hauled by the commercial traffic on the rivers started being hauled by the trains. Thus, by the time the New Cut was actually opened, it actually became a bit redundant because there was not a lot of commercial traffic by then that actually ended up using it. And therefore it was like, oh, well, that was it, you know. However, what failed for commercial traffic benefited the pleasure traffic, if you like, when the Broad started being used for touristy or pleasure boating or that sort of thing, you know. So it's actually benefited us a lot more than it did the commercials, because now if we want to go from the Waveney to the Yare or vice versa, we can nip straight down the New Cut instead of going up and down the Waveney and the Yare. It's like I say, it's dead straight, no problems. It is a wee bit narrow though, and you do have to be careful of avoiding the banks, because there is sort of submerged stuff underneath it. There are marker posts to keep you apprised of staying away from the bank, but it is quite narrow, and if you have two large vessels trying to pass each other, it gets tight at times, you know. I mean, you can really find yourself a little bit uncomfortably close to the pilings, shall I say, you know, because you don't want to be going near the bank, you know, because there is stuff that you can't see under the water on the other side of the pilings, you know, and you don't want to damage your boat. You don't want to damage your boat by hitting another big boat coming towards you. You don't want to damage your boat underneath it by hitting something submerged and maybe possibly ripping a hole in your hull underneath. That would be very bad. So yeah, it can get a wee bit sort of when you've got two large vessels trying to pass each other on a new cut. Yeah, it can sometimes get a wee bit butt clenching at times, you know, because you see the piling and you're like, oh my god, then you see the other boat, oh my god, it's just like, please, don't hit, and you just go, oh, there you go, you know. But there is room, it can just get a wee bit sort of narrow, like I say, not a lot of room, you know, for either vessel. So it's important that if you do end up having to pass vessels on the new cut, that you both make as much room as you possibly can for each other. But other than that, it's no problems. It's no problems. And like I say, there is space. It just gets a wee bit sort of yeah. But at this time of year, there's nobody here, so it's just a straight cruise right the way down the new cut, no problems. And then I get to the end of the new cut, and that's us at Reedham. Basically right by Reedham Bridge. In which case we just slip under the bridge, and there's Reedham Yacht Station right there, you know. I did toy with the idea actually of stopping at Reedham, because obviously you've got the Nelson that's right on the riverfront, you know, and it's actually alright, you know. Last couple of times I've been there, I've actually enjoyed it a bit more than the first few times that I went there. It seemed to be picking up a wee bit, you know. So yeah, I've actually enjoyed the Lord Nelson the last few times, and but there's another place which is, you sort of moor out at Reedham and then you walk back towards the railway bridge, keeping on the main road, and just by the bridge, if you like, there's a little wee pub. I think it's called the Swan. There's a lot of swans and ferry inns and all that on the Broads, isn't there? But I think it's called the Swan at Reedham, and it's a nice wee place tucked away. I've only been there once, you know, and I really liked it. I had a good meal there, and a good few beers, and it was, yeah, I really did enjoy that place. But it was closed for a while, and I do believe it's recently opened under new ownership, and it's supposed to be very good again, you know. So I did toy with the idea of stopping at Reedham and maybe going to the Swan, but it's really only what, 11:10, so I've been on the go for just under 2.5 hours, you know, and I'm not ready to finish the day yet. Actually, I'm not ready to finish my cruising. No, not at all, not yet. No. So I toyed with the idea of stopping at Reedham, but I have decided, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to continue. And I still don't know where I'm going to go the day. No idea. All I know is that I'm going up the river, yeah, at the moment. That's all I really know just now. But yes, we'll just wait and see. You know, I'll have to make a decision soon, but it'll probably get to the point where I will be undecided, then the River Chet, undecided, then the River Chet, undecided, then the River Chet, and it'll either be, oh, we're going to go down the River Chet, or no, we're going to keep on going, you know. So yes, I have no idea, you know. The weather, the sun is trying to peek its lovely wee head out. It's gotten a lot brighter, you know. It's still quite mild, but then there's a wee bit of a nip in the air, and I think it's more because I'm at that sort of no man's land area, and it's quite open and exposed down here, you know. I've really only got the reeds, you know, sheltering me from the slight breeze that is picking up. And oh, speaking of which, that was good timing, wasn't it? There goes the train. that used to carry all the commercial goods, you know. So there's a prime example of why the New Cut failed as a commercial venture in the old days. But it's not windy or anything like that, but there is a slight breeze picking up, but it's got a right sort of winter's nip to it, you know. So yeah, I've got the beanie hat back on, you know. But yeah, I'm just cruising on up the New Cut. I will soon be at Reedham, and yeah, we will have to wait and see where we go. So we'll have to make a decision soon, people. We'll have to make a decision soon. But at the moment, I'm still undecided. So I will continue on the way. I will keep you updated, and very soon, next time I see you, I will have made a decision one way or the other whether we are going down the Chet to Loddon to try that new place, or continue up to Surlingham, a place that I've been to a fair few times, very good wee pub, and then maybe do a short night navigate, well, it'll be a dark navigation back out of the ferry house after dinner, round the corner into Bargate Broad, and do a mud wait tonight. We shall wait and see. So I'll keep you updated, but until then, bye for now. Cheers! Okay, just a little wee update for you. I have come out of the New Cut. I have gone under Reedham Swing Bridge. I have left Reedham, and I am now officially on the River Chet, continuing down it. Down, up, down. I'm on the River Yare, going that way. And oh my goodness, you know, you really feel the difference in the change in tides and currents at that Reedham point. Oh man, quite happily cruising along, nice low revs, you know, keeping to the speed limit, no problems. Came out the new cut and you could see it. You could see the way the current would sort of jig, but up the River Yare towards Braden, and you hit it, and it's not like slamming into, it's not like boom like that or anything like that, but you just like the speed, you could just feel the speed going, you know, and it'd be like a wee bit more revs, a wee bit more revs. Oh my god, I'm coming to a standstill, a wee bit more revs. So yeah, and then it pinches at the bridge, you know, and it was tearing through there. So yeah, it was like I was slowing down quite considerably just getting through that bridge, you know. But once you get through the bridge and the river opens up a bit again, it eases off a wee bit and you start picking up speed again. But yes, I am on the River Yare, and I am now officially, after such a sedate, lovely cruise, I am now punching against the tide, and it is rather, let's just say it's in full ebb at the moment. So yeah, it's quite a strong wee current that's going down that wee section. I mean, it leads off further up the river, but it's yeah, it gets a wee bit strong down there. Oh my goodness, that, I've got a wee bit of a chill there. I didn't think the temperature was dropping that much, but I'm just when I came out of there, you know, so definitely got a distinct chill now, actually. So it's just like, oh my goodness, you know. So yes, I am currently in a 6 mile an hour zone. Am I doing 6 miles an hour? No. Am I doing 5 miles an hour? No. You know, I'm currently doing about 4.5 miles an hour, you know, at 2,500 revs, you know, at 4.5, you know. To put it into context, right, I was doing 5 miles an hour at about 1,500 revs, you know, just prior to hitting Reedham. So that just goes to show you the difference in currents, you know, and it's also an example of why it's always helpful to try and use the tides to your own advantage if you can, when you can, you know. I mean, I should have timed it a bit differently, you know, so that I left Beccles later, and by the time I got to Reedham, you know, tide would turn and I could get a wee helping hand, you know, so that I'm never really trying to fight against the current, you know. But well, you know, it's just fuel saving. That's all it is. There's no other reason to worry about the tides other than saving a bit of fuel, you know, and that's always good because that saves a little bit in the pocket at the end of the trip. And if there's one thing us Scots know how to do, is save a few pennies. But I can be bad, you know. I'll put my hand up there. I can be, you know, when it comes to, you know, saving a few pennies, I can be, you know, but, you know, I'm not going to worry too much about it, you know. But yeah, so I'm just dawdling on up the River Yare, and I'm going to have to make a decision very, very soon about where I'm going to go. Don't know yet, but I will keep you updated. So until then, let's see where we go. I shall keep you updated and I shall speak to you soon. So until then, bye for now. Cheers. Okay, just a little wee update for you. I have made my decision. And I'm not sure if this is going to be a good one or not, actually. I have turned down the River Chet. I am going to Loddon tonight, people. That is where I am heading for. A couple of reasons, actually. The tide was actually quite strong out in the River Yare at the moment, and I was really having to fight against it, you know. Which wasn't too much of an issue whatsoever. But I decided I didn't really want to fight that tide all the way up to Surlingham. And also, it's gotten quite windy actually out there on the River Chet. There's a hell of a breeze that's just picked up out of nowhere, just like that. I just turned the corner and bang, it's in my face. It's like, oh my goodness, you know. And yeah, it was quite a bit of a wind's picked up, and that's quite a chilly wind as well. So I've decided to turn down the River Chet, and it's a wee bit twisty and sheltered, and you know, gets me out that cold wind, you know. So that was a good enough excuse to go down the River Chet and enjoy the delights of this wonderful, beautiful river, and hopefully enjoy a nice wee dinner in some place I've not tried before later tonight. Although I did turn round and there's a big huge notice, you know, right at the entrance, which you didn't see because batteries are running out and I need to change them now. But they're doing dredging works down the River Chet currently between 8 and 4 from November to February, which is good because they're doing the dredging works off season. But there is delays of up to 1.5 hours. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what that means. I'm not entirely sure what that entails. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I may get a nice, easy, peaceful cruise down the Chet, or I may be, I don't know, hovering about in a fast flowing current for an hour or so, you know, trying to yeah, so I've no idea what that means, you know. I will have to wait and see. Hopefully if there is dredging going on today, I will be able to get past it, no problems, but we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, the River Chet's a lovely river, it really is, especially in the summer when it's you got the sun out and it's nice and warm and you got all the leaves on the trees. It really is, it's a beautiful, beautiful river. But it's narrow and it's twisty and it's a proper river, people, you know. You can feel like you're going up some sort of dark Amazonian backwood, you know, like, oh my god, you know, is there going to be a tribe sneaking in there, you know, ready to dart me with one of those blow darts, you know. Yeah, it's a beautiful river. But if two large vessels do meet to pass, it's another butt clenching moment, I'll admit, especially if you meet them on some of these really narrow, tight sort of turns, you know. I mean, and speaking of which, here comes another boat. Oh, there we go, and the cameras are not running, so you can't actually see, but right over into the reeds, getting on by. That's just a wee boat, so slip on by, no problems. But if two large vessels meet, you know, that can be a wee bit of a problem. But yeah, it's very narrow, it's very twisty, and it's like I say, it's a proper river, you know. The River Ant is beautiful, and I do like the River Ant, but that's actually wider, you know. This does widen out a wee bit further down, but up here right at the top, you know, just where it meets the Yare, yeah, it's proper tight hairpins and narrowness, and you got tall reeds, and you never really know what's around the corner because you just can't see it, and you turn the corner, it's like, okay, you know. So yeah, I really do like the River Chet. So yeah, that's it. I need to go and control this boat around these tight turns, while at the same time trying to change batteries in the GoPros with batteries that have been on charge for a wee bit, but since I last changed them, but haven't actually fully charged yet. So I don't think, I must have been doing quite a lot of filming today. I didn't think I was doing that much filming, but I must have been doing quite a wee bit of filming because the batteries are just like gone. So yeah, I'll need to decide. I've got one full battery and one partially charged battery, so I will need to figure out exactly which camera is going to get a fully charged battery and which camera is going to get a partial charged battery. Oh, the decisions, the decisions, the decisions. It's a hard life being a YouTube celebrity, you know, it really is. We have to deal with things most normal people wouldn't even think about when they're travelling down the road. And especially when I'm solo, I've got to drive this boat through these corners, you know, while trying to mess around changing batteries, deciding what camera is getting what battery, you know. Oh, and I want to add a drone into this mix, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to, because I think I think that would be one multitasking chore to do that's too much for a single guy, you know. Keeping control of the boat, looking after the cameras, talking to you, and flying a drone, you know. You know, even if it's one of these properly bloody good expensive ones that I want, you know, that locks onto it and I can fly designated patterns, I've still got to at some point control it, get it up and get it down, and I want to add that. No. I mean, I would love to get drone. Can you imagine, you know, some of my videos, you know, some of my footage, you know, adding some scenic drone shots, you know, of the rivers and of the boat, you know. Dynamic flybys with the music, you know, it would be awesome. It would be awesome. It really, really would. But no, I as much as I would love, I think, what is it, a DJI Maverick Pro Air 2 or something like that. You know, it's not an Uber site, because I think the licensing has changed. So you need a small drone. To just have not a pilot's license but an operator's license. I think it's something like that. You know, I've looked at it, you know, briefly. You know, just thinking that would be great. I really want one, but no. I think that would be a little bit too much stuff for me to do while I'm going down the rivers. But oh man, the things I could do with a drone. But then again, I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole thing about drones, because I know some people are like, oh, you know, don't like drones and a nuisance and a spy in the eye. And I wouldn't be using it for that, and I wouldn't be looking to pester people by having a drone flying overhead. And they're actually quite quiet these days, you know. But yeah, I would be, if ever I got one, I would be respectful of when and where I flew it. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be getting a drone. I would like one, but I'm not going to get one. But yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling. See, I'm going off on a tangent again. You know, first we're talking about savages in the reeds, you know, ready to blow dart me, you know, and then I'm talking about drones. You know, it's just like, it's crazy, man. No, man. You know. Right. Anyway, I'm going to go. Stop babbling. I'm going to enjoy this river. Hopefully I will be able to get a little footage of the River Chet before I hit Loddon. It'll not be very long, maybe about another 45 minutes, about an hour or so down this river. So not too long now, you know. Time is currently, oh yeah, it's only 12 o'clock, you know, we're going to get to there, no problems. So yeah. I will go for now. I will keep you updated on the events of the day. So until later, bye for now. Cheers!
use the Force, Luke. Let go, Luke. Luke, trust me. I have you now. Force is strong with this one. Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Okay, just a little wee update for you. That is me down at Loddon. Got down the River Chet, no problems, and oh my goodness, what a picturesque little river that is. I did have a wee sort of like, oh my god, what the hell, I'm gonna have to back up all the way up this river moment. Just before I got into the main sort of basin where all the marinas are and everything like that, they were doing dredging works. Nobody's dredging at the moment, but I gets down and sitting in the middle of the river just before I get down to Loddon is this whole big bloody dredging thing, bloody with the crane on it and everything like that, smack bang in the middle. And it was just like, oh, what the hell. And I've got boats moored on the left hand side, I've got this big bloody crane bloody sitting in the middle of the river, nobody's on it, nobody's doing anything, and it's just I've got a big bloody motor yacht just a wee bit further down sticking out into the river, and I thought, I'm never gonna get this beast past that. It was like uber tight, and I had to take it dead slow, but a little bit of fancy manoeuvring, helpful from the bow thrusters, and actually got past it. I mean, it was like centimetres to spare either side, but I got past it, no problems, and I managed to get down here, down into this lovely peaceful wee stave down here. If it stays there, which I suspect it probably will, how I'm actually getting back out and up the River Chet tomorrow morning, I have no idea, but I will deal with that tomorrow morning. Hopefully it's only there for, I don't know, lunchtime or whatever, and it will move, the River Chet will be clear, and I'll be able to get up the River Chet tomorrow morning. If not, I may have just buggered myself big time, and I'll probably piss off work and the next owner that wants to take over the boat next week, because I can't get back home, you know, because I'm stuck. But I'll worry about that tomorrow, you know. I'm sure if I got down here I'll be able to get back, but it is going to be very tight, and it's going to be, yeah, it's going to take a wee bit of fancy manoeuvring to get by that. But I am here. I got down here, I got moored up, no problems, and got into an electricity post. One minor wee point of contention which I'm having to worry about, and if you hold on, I'll spin you around and I'll show you what I'm a little bit concerned about. Okay, so here we go. Right, there's Thunder sitting there all nicely, stern on. I did think about putting her side on. It's obviously not going to be exactly busy, but no, I've decided I'll put her stern on just now, just in case somebody else comes down, you know. I did think about putting her right in the corner there. Certainly could have done that. It would have probably been able to secure Thunder a lot easier, not only with stern ropes but on with the side cleat as well, or the bow, you know, up against there. But I've not. I've done it. I've put it down here. I've put it right by the electricity post. So it's yeah. But here we go. Now this is what I've done down here, is that I've obviously secured this cleat around this post here, and obviously that cleat around that post over there. I've also dropped the mud weight, which I'll need to keep an eye on. It's obviously quite low tide at the moment, so that prevents the bow from swinging, but as the tide starts coming in later and starts lifting, there's a bit of slack in the chain at the moment, but I will need to play out more chain once the tide comes in, otherwise the mud weight's just going to lift. But what I've done here is I've also taken this rope here, which is uber long, wrapped it around the post, and I've got a wee sort of hook just in the centre there. So, and I've ran it through there and back out to, so I've kind of put a spring line, if you like, on my stern. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, or I don't know. I'm trying it out, you know. Like I say, this is all a bit of a learning experience at the moment. So I'm secured basically in 3 points on the stern. There is a lot of slack on the ropes at the moment. Probably a little bit too much slack at the moment, if I'm honest, considering it's low tide. I think the tide's still dropping a bit just now, so there is some slack to let the boat settle even further down. But my big concern is this, and if you bear with me, let me just get onto the boat. Okay, right, here we go. There we go. Right the way down to there. Right. Now, obviously, you've got this key heading here, okay? And it dips down into a lip. But the main pylons are under this lip here. But with the tide dropping so much, the back of the boat is actually under this key heading here when it rests against the pilings. So one reason I've left so much slack in the ropes is that if I push, you know, it obviously pushes the boat away. So when the tide starts coming in, obviously when the tide starts coming in, these are going to loosen off even more. But I'm going to need to keep an eye on this as the tide comes in later, and just make sure that this rubber bit or this gel coat here does not catch under there as the tide comes in, because that would probably cause quite a wee bit of damage and all that. So that's one thing I am a little concerned about, a little worried about. I suppose I could maybe move a fender or something like that, and maybe wrap a fender around one of the cleats, or maybe through there, and just pop a fender there, and I might actually do that. But yeah, I'll have a think about that. You know, I'm a wee bit concerned about that. I've been down here before, and I've had the same sort of similar issue before, and it's never been presented a major problem. I was always able to keep an eye on it and sort it all out. But it is something that I'm going to have to think about later and keep an eye on, just to see what is going to happen with the boat as the tide, the water levels vary. I've also taken my flag off because when the boat was right in against the side there, it was actually pushing the pole, you know, and it was just like, yeah, no. So I've taken the flag off. So yeah, she's pretty well secured. She's pretty well secured. She shouldn't be going anywhere. And yeah, hooked up to electricity. So that's me for the night. And it's what, it's about 1 o'clock, I think it is. 1 o'clock, something like that. I've not even looked at the time. But that was actually quite an enjoyable wee cruise up the Waveney, along the New Cut, Redum, and down the Chet. And yeah, it was lovely, lovely. Bit of a surprise, the changing currents at Redum. It really did change. And obviously that wind, I mean, it's nice and sheltered down here. I mean, you'd hardly believe that I actually encountered such a wind up in the River Yare. But yeah. So that is it. That's my cruising done for the day. I am going to go away and get myself a hard-earned cup of coffee and get myself sorted. And then, where is it? Well, obviously, that's Loddon, just down there. Usually I go out to the main road and turn left. This time I have been told to go out to the main road and turn right. And the Swan is just down that road there, so I think that's where I'm going to be sampling tonight's little beer and dinner. So I'm looking forward to that, sampling somewhere new and seeing what that's all about. However, I will say this is the end of day 3 of Thunder Tales. I don't know if I'm going to be back or not. I have no plans to meet up with anybody tonight. I'm just basically enjoying a nice, peaceful, relaxing evening by myself. So yeah, I'm just going to chill back, relax, take in some of this lovely serene quietness, go for a wee explore. I might take you with me. It all just depends what happens. But if I don't talk to you later, I will see you tomorrow for day 4, where I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to go. It's either going to be further up the River Yare, or I might head back into the Northern Broads tomorrow. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. I haven't decided. You know what I'm like, you know. I take one day at a time, you know. I have no idea what I'm going to do from one moment to the next. But yeah, if I'm not back later, hope you've enjoyed day 3. Come and join me for day 4, where we figure out what we're going to do or where we're going to go. But obviously, if I am back later, I will talk to you later. If not, join me for day 4. Hope you've enjoyed this lovely wee cruise. And yeah, I will speak to you when I speak to you. So until later, or tomorrow, bye for now. Cheers! Hello, you fucking wonderful people on YouTube. How are you doing this evening? Hello! Are you alright there? Oh, hold on a wee bit. I'm going a wee bit dark here. Just let me just go. Bing! There! Hey! Hello! Am and I just looking fucking sexy tonight, by the way, huh? Honestly, you could burn yourself on me, couldn't you, woman of YouTube land? Delusions of grandeur. What can I say? If you're going to have them, you may as well make them fucking big ones. Hello! How are we doing? You alright there? Oh, right. I'm just doing fucking damn dabby fucking dozy, by the way. Yes, I'm having a little aperitif. How are you doing? I am just back from a lovely wee walk, by the way, down Loddon. And I must say, this is a lovely wee place to stay, by the way, you know. It's a lovely quiet wee stay, you know. Not a lot of moorings, and it fills up very quickly during the season. But here, now, in winter, you know, it's empty. I could have gone side on if I wanted. You know, all that bloody worry about trying to go stern on. I didn't need to do it, but you know, I did. You know, I was nice. You know, so yeah, I am stern on in Loddon, and it's very quiet, and it's very. I do like this stayed, by the way, even though you're quite close to Loddon itself, and you've got. I don't know if you can see it. Do you see the lights of the houses in front? They're very nice houses. I bet they're fucking expensive and all, but they're very nice houses, and it's very nice all lit up and everything like that. But it's still very quiet. Abso-fucking-lutely, by the way, you know. But I had a nice wee walk down into Loddon, you know, and I know I didn't take you, okay, but I went down there, and I did what I said I was going to do, okay. Instead of leaving the stave and turning left like I would usually do, I went down to the stave and I turned right. Now, originally, I'll put my hands up, originally I was just going for a wander. That's all, just a wander, okay, because that Swan Hotel, it turned out to be a hotel that I was telling you about, turned out, which is really quite strange, but I suppose, I mean, at this time of year, I suppose it's understandable. But it's quite surprising how many places are shut on a Monday, you know? It's not just like close early on a Sunday. They close early on a Sunday and they shut totally on a Monday. And I was like, oh well, that's fucking, that place fucking fucked, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, and by the way, just in case you hadn't already realised, we are proper dark side, by the way, so swearing is going to be a prerequisite. Swearing is going to happen, okay? You just deal with it, alright? If you can't handle it, you don't like it, just hit that stop button right now. Don't unsubscribe, okay? Because I'm not always like this, okay? I'm just like this tonight. This is the dark side, okay? You don't like the swearing, just hit the stop button, but do not unsubscribe. But yeah, so I went down to the bottom of the stage, right, and I turned right. Just going for a wee wander. That's all it was. That's all, you know, I had no intentions of eating, if you like, because there was nothing down there apart from the Swan Hotel, or so I thought. And I thought, well, I'll turn right, I'll have a wee wander, then I'll turn double back on myself and turn left and go up and find some food up to the left like I usually do. Be it a pub or takeaway or whatever, you know. But I turned right, okay, and I stumbled upon this place called the White Horse, right? And it's at Chedgrave, which is literally just on the other side of the bridge, you know. And it's maybe, what, 10 minutes, if that, away from the Staithe. And I walked into the place, and it was a lovely place. It was a gorgeous place, you know. And I walked in and I just felt so welcoming. And I think it was maybe Simon and his wife. I don't know his wife's name. All that I really know is that his wife is from Dundee. And had a brief wee sort of in the passing sort of, hi, how you doing, what you doing, blah, 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 blah. I went to the White Horse and it was Simon. And they were quite busy because they were having a charity bingo thing going on tonight, you know. So it was like, all right, okay, right. And I asked them about food and they said, yes, we do food. And I went, oh, brilliant, but we don't do food until 6 o'clock. And I was like, oh, man. It was like, well, this is like 3 o'clock or just after 3 o'clock, you know. I was like, oh, man, what am I going to do? Well, can I really sit in your pub for 3 hours while waiting on the kitchen drinking beer? And he took one look at me and he went, mate, by the sound of your accent, you can sit here for 3 hours drinking beer till the kitchen opens. And I went, all right, mate, you're probably right. Okay, let's have a beer and look at the menu. So yeah, I looked at the beer. I looked at the menu, and I decided I was going to have a Young's Bitter. I don't know the full name. I'm just going to call it a Young's Bitter. It was really nice. A nice pale ale, you know. And Simon, he was great. He was quite welcoming. You know, he was quite chatty and all that. But I asked for permission to do a little filming inside his pub, and he said, yeah, no problems, don't have a problem with that, you know, a little free advertisement. I said, absolutely, mate, you know, if I like it, you're going to get a lot of advertisement, you know. So, it might be a small channel, you know, but I do have a little pool with some of the... just blowing gold dust up my arse, you know. But yeah, so he let me do a wee bit of filming, and it was lovely, you know. The whole bar area, you know, it was really, really welcoming and warm, and you know, had an open fire there and some proper couches, you know, leather couches. Oh, sweet, very sweet, you know. And I sat there by the fire enjoying a couple pints, looking at the menu. And they did say that because of the charity bingo, the pub is going to fill pretty much about 7 o'clock, you know. So what I'll need to do is, if I'm eating, I'll need to go through to the restaurant. I said, that's no problem, not a problem at all. But at 5:30, the wife, who I'm afraid I don't know, I didn't catch the name of the wife, unfortunately, came and said, look, the chef's in. He's warming up the ovens just now. It was about 5:30. He said, she said, if you want, I'll take your order just now, you know, and you can sit here in this sort of little wee den thing by the fire, you know. I said, well, I know you've got the bingo going on. I don't want to sort of like intrude upon you too much. She said, no, it'll be fine, you know, it's only 5:30, you know, you'll be fine. So I went, okay, well, that's cool. You know, if that's all right by you, then that's fine by me. So she took my order, which was, now, I'm going to say mushrooms to begin with, but it was much more than mushrooms. Obviously, you'll probably see a wee sort of description down there, because I did take, I know, old guy, yeah, It's quite shocking, isn't it? You know. Oh wait a minute. Oh my goodness. You know. How dare. The Admiral get old and have to wear glasses. I had a Stilton herbed and crumb stuffed field mushrooms with dressed salad leaves. That was what I had for a starter. And I must say, didn't look too much when it came out, but oh my god, it was really, really nice. I mean, you know, it sounded very fancy, but it was so good. Really, really good. But that was nothing compared to the main course. No. What did I have for the main course? Right, hold on a wee second. Let me just blow this picture up. Here we go. I had, for my main course... Whoop. Maybe I should sit down for this bit. I might consider that after I've talked to you a wee bit. I had oven roasted duck breast on a melody of roasted vegetables with a port and red currant jus. That was what I had for my main course. Okay, and oh my fucking god, it was amazing, by the way. It didn't look like a lot when it came out, but that duck was just, it was cooked to perfection. It was juicy, without being bloody. You know, it was well cooked without, you know, it was a nice medium, I would probably call it a medium cooked duck. And it was so good. You know, and everything, you know, a couple of those tatties and some green beans at the side, and then on that roasted vegetables on the top, you know. The duck itself, there was only a couple of small bits. That was my only thing, was that the only small bits of duck, but, you know, it's expensive, that sort of shit, you know. So, yeah, it was really, really good, you know, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, you know. And all this time I'm drinking all these young bits. Bearing in mind that I've been in there for 3 hours before I even fucking ordered anything, you know. So, yeah, I'd been drinking this Young's Better, and I was kept drinking it, you know. And they were very accommodating with me, they really were. And then obviously I finished my dinner, and she said, well, do you want dessert? And I don't usually have dessert, but I was so impressed with that duck and those mushrooms, I had to at least look at the dessert menu, and I decided I was going to have a little dessert. And I ended up having cranberry, vodka and orange cheesecake served with, well, it says pouring cream, but I decided to go for ice cream because I really do not like cream or custard or anything like that. No matter how good a dish is. And man, you know, it was the vodka that sold me the cheesecake, by the way. You know, I was like, you know, after the bitter, you know, give me some vodka. Absolutely, I'm well up for a little vodka, you know. And man, it was, it was, how can I describe that? Sweet and sour at the same time? Would you call it, or sweet and bitter at the same time? You know, really, I don't know, it was just so good. You know, and I'm quite sure it would have been better with cream, but I'm just not a cream or a custard person at all. You know, the only time I will eat custard is if it's on things like a vanilla slice, and the only time I will eat cream, the only time I will eat custard is if it's on something like a vanilla slice, and the only time I will have cream is if it's in like a whipped cream on a cake. I don't like pouring custard, and I don't like pouring cream. Sounds weird, sounds stupid, sounds fucking idiotic, but this is the Admiral you're talking to, so yeah, that's the way it is, just deal with it. But man, that cheesecake was so good, you know, and I'm sitting there and I'm drinking all these Young's Bitters, you know, as well as this dinner, and it was just, it was great. So yes, I would highly recommend, you know, if you ever come down to Loddon, and you manage to get in at the Staithe, you go to the main road, turn left if you want, okay? There's some good shit up there, you know? Takeaways, pubs, I think there might be a restaurant. If you want, you can even go straight across the road for your lunch or late breakfast to Rosie Lee's Tea Room. I highly recommend that for your breakfast or a light lunch, you know. Rosie Lee's Tea Room, straight across from the Staithe. However, you would be doing yourself injustice if you went to the bottom of the Staithe and did not turn right and go to the White Horse at Chardgrave. 10 minutes, 10-minute walk, if that, you know. And honestly, it was atmosphere brilliant, service fantastic, food, oh my god, you know. And about the only thing I would say about the White Horse, okay, is that it was a little bit jarring because the White Horse, when you walk, I mean, I didn't get to go to the restaurant, so maybe the restaurant would have looked a bit better, you know. But it was like, you walked into the pub, and it looked like a pub, a proper pub, you know, a proper English pub, which is a good thing. But then you get this menu that was quite sort of gourmet-ish, and it felt a wee bit sort of jarring, a wee bit, if you like, you know, because it was like an English pub but with this fancy worded menu, and you think to yourself, alright, okay, I've walked in for a pub dinner and I'm getting all this fancy food, you know, and it's just like, I have no idea what I want. But that's the only thing. I mean, you could probably I've got away with sort of dumbing down, if you like, the menu and still charging the same prices. But don't let that put you off, because honestly, you know, the White Horse down at Chedgrave, it really was fantastic. Absolutely had a fucking brilliant time, you know. Thoroughly enjoyed it, you know. Food was great. The beer was, well, the Young's Bitter at least, spot on, you know. Chilled, drinkable, not too heavy, quite light in the stomach, you know, and it just sort of, oh, it was really, really good, you know, and I highly recommend it, you know. So yeah, I will definitely be coming back down to Loddon, or at least the next time I come back down to Loddon, I should say. I will be definitely giving the White Horse serious consideration about going for a nice meal, because it was so good. And at the end of the day, it was like, what was it? Now let me think. The bill, my bill, came to 40 quid. Okay, but I'd actually had a few pints before that, before I actually ordered, and they opened up a tab for me. So I probably paid about £55. £55. I'll take a rough estimate. It was about £55. Okay, which sounds a lot for one person, but bearing in mind, okay, it was a 3-course high quality dinner, and I'd been in there since just after 3 o'clock, and I left there at 7 o'clock drinking beer before food, you know, and I wasn't hanging about with the beer, you know. I was like, oh yeah, because it had been a long 4-hour cruise, you know, and that Dredger fucked me up. I mean, honestly, did you see the footage? My god, man, I am some sort of boating god, by the way, to get past that Dredger, past the moored boats, zigzag around that big fucking yacht in front of me and not touch anything. I was like, fucking go, you Admiral. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, you boating fucking god, yeah, you are the man, you know. Yes, that's what I felt. And then approximately 20 seconds later, I looked behind me as I was leaving, and I looked at the dredger and the yachts and the moored boats, and I thought, how the fuck am I getting out of here? It's just like, that fucker's there tomorrow morning. I am so fucked, by the way. I don't think I'm getting out of this fucking state, by the way, which is going to piss off a lot of people, by the way. You know, if I fucking have to, if I'm stranded in here, yeah, totally. You know? In fact, if I'm stranded in here, this adventure is fucked. I can't even put this fucking up on fucking YouTube. Absolutely. Can you imagine everybody coming, fucking some of the other people that want this fucking boat, and I can't come because I fucking did a fucking stupid manoeuvre like that. It wasn't a stupid manoeuvre. It was a safely controlled, clench your buttocks, I can get through this manoeuvre, but getting down here is one thing, getting back up, that's a total different ball game, because as anybody who's tried to put their head through a set of railings knows, you might get your head through the railings, but getting your head back out the railings, not necessarily doable, you know. So yeah, I've got myself down here, but whether I can get back up, well, let's just wait and see until tomorrow morning. So yeah, but other than that, I have had a fucking great day. It was a great cruise. It was a lovely journey down the River Chet, you know. A bit windy, got a bit chilly, you know. That current, that tide, when I came across the new cut and hit that outgoing tide, man, that was tough going, fighting against that for a while. But coming down the River Chet, yeah, it wasn't as pretty as it would be in the summer, you know, sure, you know, but I still love the River Chet, you know. And if the sun's out tomorrow, okay, the sun comes up tomorrow when I leave, right? The thing about the River Chet is that when you leave the River Chet in the morning, if you're doing a sunrise cruise, you actually cruise into the sunrise. Honestly, if the weather's perfect, it'll blow your fucking mind. Your mind will just go bing, bing, you know, with the amount of beauty, you know, of watching that sunrise come up as you cruise on into it. Honestly, fucking beautiful, you know. So yeah, I am here back on the boat. I have well, the boat's doing okay. I have let a little more chain out of my mudway because the tide is coming up. The back lip is not too bad. What I have done is I've adjusted I've hooked fenders around various things, you know. So basically I've brought fenders up, you know, to sort of stop that bang against the quay heading. Should be safe, should be fine. You know, the tide's still rising, so I'm still keeping an eye on it, but I was actually quite surprised at how high it had risen on the few hours I'd been away. I thought I would be back here before it crossed that lip, but no, it was past that lip. But thankfully there was no issues and it wasn't banging against it, so there was no issues there. So everything is looking good, everything is safe, everything is fine, there's not a problem whatsoever. So yes, I'm being safe, you know, just taking it nice and easy. But yeah, it's just like spot on, you know, all is good. Anyway, I'm gonna go for now, not least because I can barely stand, not least because I need to finish a beer, and not least because I need to actually get my hot water bottle made up into the bed and think about settling down for the night, you know. Yes, I might be hooked up to electricity and I might have an electric heater in the back cabin, currently switched on, heating the back cabin. But trust me, in the winter, trust me on this, people, okay? Admiral's tip here, number one. In the winter, you want a fucking hot water bottle in that bed an hour before you go to bed, warming that bed up, because it's just going to be nice and toasty, you know. Trust me on this. Hot water bottle in the bed an hour before you go to bed. Oh man, in the winter when it's cold, honestly, you know, it's fantastic, you know. It's the way to go. It is the way to go. It doesn't matter if you've got an electric heater or not an electric heater. I had no heating last night because the electricity, I ran out of electricity, you know, and I didn't put any more in the post. So yeah, I didn't have any electricity heating last night, but a nice hot water bottle in the bed kept the bed nice and toasty, you know. And in the middle of the night, if you get a wee bit chilly, you just cuddle up to that hot water bottle and it's like, nice and peaceful and warm, and this is the life. Yeah. So I need to go away, boil a kettle and make up my hot water bottle. Is that a bit of a wussy thing for a Scotsman to say, by the way? I need to go and put a hot water bottle in my bed. Hey, I'm a Scotsman. We know all about cold up there, by the way. You know? We deal with fucking cold, unbelievable, that you would have no idea. Oh, yeah, actually, you probably do. You know I'm only teasing you. Anyway, had a brilliant night. You know, had a good dinner, had a good few beers. You know, I had a good wee walk and a wander. The stay is fantastic. It's lovely and quiet, you know. So it's just a shame the stars are not out. But I'm going to go away, finish my beer, make up my hot water bottle, and then promptly, crash. I'll watch some shite on TV, as one does, you know. Probably some science fiction thing, you know. And yeah, so thanks again for joining me for day 3. I better get this right because I got it wrong in October, didn't it? So this is Saturday, Sunday. This is Monday, isn't it? It's day 3. So join me in day 4, where I still don't quite know exactly where I'm going to go or what I'm going to do. But I will have to leave here, not mega early, but I'll have to leave here reasonably early. In the mid-morning. I'll need to leave here mid-morning. Hope that I can get past that Dredger, get back up the River Chet, and see where we go from there. So yeah, it's going to be good, going to be interesting. So thanks for joining me on day 3. Join me on day 4. We'll see where we go, and hopefully we will have a good time. So until then, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, please share, please spread the love, people, about. And I will see you tomorrow at day 4 and see what stories we can tell on Thunder Tales. Still feels strange saying that though, doesn't it? Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow at day 4. Good night. Cheers!